welcome back once again. It is time for the Super Sully Sunday stream. I hope you enjoy my new voice. Actually, I think I should speak in a lower register because I think, my usual lilted cadence turns chicks off. I mean, they probably think I got a tiny nuggets or something. They might not be wrong. Who knows? That's for her to find out on our wedding night. Hi, everyone out there. I am sick. I'm fighting a cold. I can't wait till bedtime to take some NyQuil. Cold and flu. A little bit of a stuffy head, a little bit of a runny nose, a little bit of a sore throat. But besides that, I'm feeling great. And check it out. My brand new Comics Aficionados t-shirt. I got it from Wes's Teespring store. You can find on the description on his channel, and you can get your own gear. You can dress up for Saturday mornings just like me. If you want a shirt just like this, go get yourself. That's great. Good to see you out there, Lane Kramer. Awesome. Good to see you out there, James Nablika. Good to see everyone out there in TV land. It's a Sunday Sportsgasm day. My old best friend, roommate James Barnes used to say Sunday Sportsgasm when you had a bunch of different sports going on. So we got the 1:00 Patriots game. The Steelers are in town. We've got the Boston Bruins having their first preseason game of the preseason against the Washington Capitals at 5 p.m. And we also have the Boston Red Sox playing in Tampa Bay against the Rays at 7:35. It is a Sunday Sportsgasm day. That's right. And we are a comic book shop. We do the comic book shop talk here. We talk about pop culture. We talk about this, that, the other things. I go to my local comic book shop every Wednesday and I pick up new funny books. I love comic books. You do too. That's why we're here congregating together. Talk about art, talk about pop art, talk about, these serialized periodical publications and the joy of it all. I also read 20 different floppies this week, 17 Marvel books, 1 DC book, and 2 Image Skybounds. Looking forward to sharing that knowledge with you. We'll also be talking about yesterday was Batman Day. Batman Day is a created Hallmark holiday by DC Comics, but who cares? Well, it's like Valentine's Day. I mean, it's there to sell greeting cards and chocolate and flowers and shit. You know what I mean? I don't care about Valentine's Day, but I do care about Batman Day. Batman Day. So we'll hit the spinner rack and we will feature some of my favorite Batman stories of all time, because Batman Day is a really good day to review that. We got Lane Kramer in the chat. I caught up in the last hour some of the comics this week. Incredible Hulk number 28, pretty fun. Exactly. Absolute Flash number 7. I heard actual Flash action was in that book. And you read Ultimate Black Panther. Caught up in New Gods as well. I loved Black Panther 20. I am sad it's coming to an end now that all the pieces are coming together. I wish main universe T'Challa was allowed to evolve and have a story told like Ultimate T'Challa. I agree. Ultimate Black Panther has been my favorite, in my humble opinion, the best Ultimate funny book in the Ultimate line. I forgot. Boo is a bear of little brains sometimes. I'm sorry. But if you remind me, I'll go look it up. I will. With me in my sexy new voice. Gravelly. Yeah, how are you? How you doing? Oh. Well, yeah, cool. Thank you, man. Sorry about that. I literally forgot. I've been like, I made chili though. I did. I made chili. It was delicious. It's delicious. And I guess it's 500 calories. It's 500 calories. One second. Ooh, let's share. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Someone on Twitter was giving me a hard time about this too. Like, hey, look at your ugly chili. And I'm like, Mom, is that you? You making fun of me? My mom's passed now. Oh, nice. I had a steak from Texas Roadhouse lunch for under 400 calories with a salad and a baked potato for under $17. Oh, that sounds great. I usually have steak almost. I'm having buffalo wings tonight, and I'll be eating chili all week. That's good, and it's spicy enough, not too spicy. It's like one alarm, I would say, maybe 1.5. And a little cheese, a little sour cream, but it's 500 calories for 16 ounces for 2 cups worth of it. And that's a pound of food, and so that's going to keep me sated all week long. Oh yeah, chili today, hot tamale, the Mexican forecast. Oh no, you can get in trouble for saying that. JK, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much for dropping by. I hope you and kiddo are having a fabulous day. That's great. Yeah, I noticed that what helps me with dieting is there's a good hack for dieting. If you're going to have some protein, if your weight, your goal weight should be the number of grams of protein you're eating. So if my goal is 180 pounds, so I should be eating 180 grams of steak. I bumped that up with roasted broccoli, and because I love the stems, because the roasted broccoli stems give you good poops. Seriously, non-soluble fiber in there, and everyone's ahead of JK, and that's right. You see, JK, that's right. And Deadpool Batman. Yeah, we'll be talking about Deadpool Batman, getting into that. It's not only Batman Day, it's time for the newest Marvel and DC crossover. And, yeah. Oh, man. And chili is, just start up the vegetables. Brown up your ground beef. Also, you get a nice dimension to it too. I found if you have any braised short rib, the kind of short rib that's been slow cooking and it falls apart, it shreds up. That and beef kielbasa. If you can brown up the beef kielbasa too, now put those aside, and then you chop up your onions and peppers, your garlic. I use roasted garlic. I also use celery and carrots because it adds color, and the celery has non-soluble fiber, which is good for your poops. A can of crushed tomatoes, 2 cans of red kidney beans, and when I'm sautéing the peppers and onions and the veggies all together and the garlic, I throw in decent amounts of garlic, granulated garlic, cumin, coriander, salt and pepper, and dark chili powder, and a good pinch of crushed red pepper, not too much, and get that all going. Then I drop the meats back in there, let the greases kind of like come out in that and cook it up. And then you add your can of tomato product, crushed tomatoes, and then add your drained kidney beans. You can get the kidney beans. I like red kidney beans, black beans. I like beans and quizzy and chili. No, Texas chili is its own definition. Texas chili has no beans. So if you have beans in your chili, do not advertise it as Texas chili. And so that's just the simplest, KISS, keep it simple, Sully. That's an axiom of the kitchen. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, silly. Well, in my case, keep it simple, Sully. And yes, save this recipe, just like rewind at the end of start it over at the end of the show and just write this down. It's just, and it's all in proportion. You know what I mean? It depends on how much you need to make for the cook-off. You might need a big pot. So you don't want to cram all your ingredients into a small pot. I have literally a huge pot to make chili for chili contests. I made I use my I have my 12-quart Dutch oven, you know what I mean? And I use that, and it comes up like halfway. I yielded about 2,000 grams of chili, 2,090 grams of chili, which got me it probably is there. I can look it up. I have it written down here. Where's my chili? Beef chili portion calculators. I had 2,090 grams of chili, and so that equals 73.71 ounces. So that got me 5 suppers. So I have 4 16-ounce cups of chili, and I have a smaller one too that's about 10 ounces that I'll make some tacos out of. And so yeah, so it's a simple recipe, and go with it. And I'm here for you if you need a recipe, if you need a hack. We follow each other on the Twitters. So hey, a question for me from Elaine Kramer and the chat to think on. So with Ultimate Endgame around the corner for the characters, who has been your least favorite character, most annoying, and one you have liked? Three different characters. My least favorite character, I guess, has got to be Ultimate Gwen. She's kind of, the most annoying has got to be the Ultimate X-Men of Peach Momoko, and the one I've liked is T'Challa, Brian Hill's T'Challa. And I am not, I'm ditching, I'm bailing from Ultimate. When Ultimate Spider-Man 24 is released, that's it. You know what I mean? You can use any bean you like. I like using, and you know what's good in there too? I like, roasted corn kernel. You know what I mean? Season it up, put it flat on a sheet pan with a little bit of oil, roast them. You move them around, like the edges will get done more quickly than the inside. So you just move it around. But roasted corn and black beans, that's my Boston Bruins colors, are black and gold. But that's like, I call that black and gold chili. You know what I mean? And that's part of it, So there's so many things to do to chili as well. You can make I can make a vegan chili, with just beans and roasted garlic, like garbanzos. And if you add rice to that too, rice and beans together make a complete protein. And it's dietetically really good. Seriously. And you can just let your imagination go with you. You know what I mean? I use red beans. I like to use black beans, garbanzos. Great northern beans. I like beans. I like beans in my chili. I'm not one like that. And Lane Kramer also says, can be from any of these series and just what you have liked about them. What annoyed you, or just who you've not liked at all. I haven't liked Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men. They're basically unlikable. None of them are good characters. I mean, and I hate, it's not even a good rendition of Hisako, of Armor. I mean, Warren Ellis did a much better version of her way back in Astonishing X-Men, back like 20 years ago. I made a dessert chili last night. That sounds interesting. Let us know. What are the essential ingredients to that? Was it? I am sick, and I apologize for the voice. I love Momoko. Exactly. I love Peach Momoko. I love her art. Look, there's so many good things to say about that book. There's great panel progressions, great coloring. Because Peach is like a one-person show, a one-woman show here. She's doing the inking. She's doing the coloring. That sounds interesting. It really does. But the story is just bunk, and there are no good men in this book. That's a non-starter. This is an X-Men book. This is supposed to be an X-Men book. Ultimate Gwen is just hard to like. She's unlikable, and that's completely opposite of Gwen Stacy, she was very likable. The original Gwen. I read a lot of the old. I read a lot of old Amazing Spider-Man. I used to have the I used to have the DVD-ROM, the CD-ROM PDF collection. Oh gosh, I wish I never lent that out. Watch out what you lend out. Don't be protective of your stuff. But yeah, so it was Batman Day yesterday, and what lives on my spinner rack are probably, I gotta say, some of my favorite go-to Batman books for my all-time favorites. And we'll find out what they are in just a moment. I do like Frank Miller's Dark Knight. This is issue number 4 of 4. We were waiting forever for this back in 1986. The first 3 issues came out, and the fourth one had delays. This is Batman: The Dark Knight Falls, issue number 4 of 4. $2.95 cover price. Back in the 75-cent days. There was nothing else when I was 13 years old, going on 14. And this was just a couple of years before Batman fever took over the country. 1989, the release of Tim Burton's Batman with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger. Bob, you're my number one. Batman Detective Comics. This is issue number 535. This is from February 1984. So it came out about, say, December 1983. I'm 11 years old. I brought this to school, 5th grade, and I got it taken away from me by my teacher. Never got it back. This is the first appearance of Jason Todd Robin in Detective Comics, and Crazy Quilt, who is a Robin bad guy in a way, has a huge mad-on for Robin, for Dick Grayson, doesn't know that this is a new Robin and tries to kill our Jason Todd. Yes, yeah, so this starts off with him, how he almost ends up a couple of years later. This is 536, the next issue. This is Batman 424, cover date of October of 1988. It came out in the summer of 1988, August. And this is one of my all-time favorite single issues. Written by this is Jim Starlin with art by M.D. Bright. Hey, Yul Carter, how are you, buddy? I'm fighting a head cold, and I'm talking about Batman Day. Didn't miss much at all, except for if you like chili. We were talking about chili con carne for a good 10 minutes, and like my simple chili recipe. I made a chili this morning, and I'm happy it's under 500 It's 500 calories for 16 ounces of chili, and that's really cool. I'm on a diet. I was 214 pounds close to 3 weeks ago. And my weigh-in yesterday, I'm at 205.6 pounds. So I've lost almost 10 pounds just by sticking to a diet, by portioning my food, by eliminating carbs, sugar, breads, and pasta. And it's working so far. I am going to hopefully, I'm starting to fit into smaller pants. That's good. And I just want to fit into my medium and large t-shirts again. And I don't want to be fat anymore. And that's really, it's really cool. Good for you. Seriously. I mean, it's hard. It's just as hard to keep it off, because when my mom passed away, I took solace in eating. So I put back on all the weight that I struggled so hard to lose. And you know what? I'm just going to do it. But morning is over. It's time to get back to life. Mom would not want me to, be unattractive and be fat and unhealthy. So that's good. I have a barbell, a dumbbell that it's at 25 pounds now, and it's going to get up to 55 pounds over time. And I'm going to start doing push-ups and sit-ups and maybe even pull-ups. I mean, I suck at pull-ups, but who doesn't? But this is Batman 424. This is like where Jason Todd was one of my favorite Robins, because I was Jason Todd's age, and he was my Robin. I always had Robin growing up, traditional Dick Grayson. But when he became Robin, he was around my age. So around this age of him, this is the post-crisis Jason Todd that is now a little bit more suspect when he comes to his motivations. And this is the one where he may or may not have pushed the diplomat's son off of the balcony. And this is about 2 issues before Death in the Family starts, and before we get the 1-900 number to vote for Jason Todd's fate. So this is a really good, interesting time. Yeah, this is Jim Starlin, MD Bright, and great issue. This is probably one of my favorite single issues of Batman. Again, with Jason Todd. This is the second printing of the Batman Annual number 25, written by Judd Winnick with great art by Shane Davis. Shane Davis did the cover for this. I love that. So taking off the red hood and seeing the dead Robin underneath it, that's really with the fractured skull from the crowbar. Oh man, that's so sinister. I think this is great art. I want to go back. Yeah, huh? I hear you. So this is around Infinite Crisis. It's an Infinite Crisis tie-in. So this shows the resurrection of Jason Todd after Superboy Prime is punching the walls of his pocket universe and splintering the space-time tapestry of the DC universe. And so those Superboy Prime punches is what, it skipped the needle on the record playing of the DC universe, and Jason Todd came back to life in his coffin and got himself out of the coffin, and then he was going kind of crazy because he was kind of back from the dead. Judd Winnick improved his own story, his Under the Red Hood, his Under the Hood story from Batman. He got to adapt into an animated feature called Batman Under the Red Hood, which shows the death and the resurrection of Jason Todd, where it's done a lot more simply, where it's Ra's al Ghul feels responsible for Joker killing, Jason Todd. So he steals his body and puts him in a Lazarus pit. And it's like, that's so elegant. That's so simple. But this is a great single issue of Batman, the Batman Annual 25. From when? 2006. Again with the Jason Todd. This is a really good issue. This is Batman 618. Cover date of October 2003. And once again, we have Batman haunted by the dead Jason Todd. But this is where we get the really cool outfit. Now, this ends up being Hush's outfit. Oh, hey, look at you. Nail gaze. It ends up being Hush's outfit. But this is when Clayface was pretending to be Jason Todd coming back. And I love that Robin outfit. I love the white streak in his hair. I love the R. I love the belt. Everything about this outfit is great. I wish Jason Todd would have this outfit, and you could go back. I mean, you have Robins. I don't mind Robins, but you can have Red Robin, Tim Drake. You could have Black Robin, Jason Todd. That's my opinion. Here's an issue of Robin. Speaking of, this is Tim Drake Robin. This is Robin 23, cover dated 1994, 97. This is $1.95 book. October of 95. That's it. October of 95. This has it's Underworld Unleashed, where some of the bad guys get satanic powers, like get an upgrade, and but this is just a good Chuck Dixon issue with great art by Aaron Lopresti, and this is like Firefly was got the upgrade into something a lot more biologically sinister. You know, Duke Thomas, and oh no, it was Black Robin was supposed to have been Damon. Was it Damon Wayans? And he got a pay-or-play contract, so he got paid lots of money for not appearing in a movie. And there's the Robert Venditti Batman 89. So there's a version of that Robin in his that recently just wrapped up. But also there was Duke Thomas, who Scott Snyder introduced in the New 52 and Zero Hour. Zero Year, and who grew up to be the Signal. He is one of the Batman family. He wasn't a Robin. And it was a really good mystery of even Jim Gordon saying, "Is he one of your new Robins?" He was like, "Nah, we're gonna try something new, something different this time." So there's this whole mystery of who Duke was gonna be. And he ended up having this lame code name called the Signal, and he ended up having some like meta powers that I don't even know Duke Thomas's power set when it comes to it. Hello, AL. Good to see you. How are you? Good to see everyone out there today in TV land. Sorry about that. And probably one of my all-time favorite Batman issues. I had these in single issues back in the day. It was 1989. I was in high school. And this is Detective Comics 598, 599. And the Milestone Detective 600. And it was written by Sam Hamm, who wrote the screenplay for Batman 89, the Tim Burton film, and with wonderful art by Dennis Cowan. This is Batman Blind Justice, and inked by Dick Giordano. This is probably one of the best Batman stories that you've never heard of. Bruce Wayne, traitor. It's about, and this is the introduction of Henri Deckard, who is the assassin that Bruce protéged with as a late teenager when he was on his journey to accrue this skill set of his. And it's got I love the art in this. I love the panels. I mean, it's so moody, and this is just an old time comic. This is great. Where there's like body swapping going on, where you can put your mind into another body. And Bruce is dating this chick whose brother is down on his luck, and Bruce ends up getting majorly injured, and so he agrees to put his mind into his girlfriend's brother's body, and Bruce ends up getting him killed. And it's an interesting story. Oh boy. It's kind of heartbreaking, but I love the art. Oh man, just like there's pathos in this. Look at that. Oh, I just love the art in this. Dennis Cowan does a great job. So this is like pretty much a happy Batman Day, and this is my suggestion to anyone out there that wants to read a good Batman story. This is Batman Blind Justice. And those are a few of my favorite Batman stories. I like other ones that come to mind are Frank Miller's entire Dark Knight Returns series. I love DK2. People like to put that down. I enjoy the hell out of that. I really do. I love Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, which has kind of got a sinister connotation to its name. But it is about the Kandorians getting out of their bottle and becoming macronized, and then thinking themselves the superior race, and that they're going to take over planet Earth. And it takes Batman and Superman to stop them. And it's about if whatever Frank Miller did to Batman and Superman in Dark Knight Returns and Dark Knight Falls, and in that fight, he has them make up in Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. And it's a great publication too. I got them all in floppies. Each one of them has a mini comic on the inside of it. It's wonderful. Then there's The Last Crusade, which is about the death of Jason Todd, with great art by John Romita Jr. And then there's The Golden Child, which has great art by Raphael Grampa. And Batman's not even in it. It's about Batgirl, and it's about Supergirl as well, Lara, the daughter of Superman and Wonder Woman. She's half Kryptonian and half Amazon, and all kick-ass. Great stuff. I love this stuff. And then we do have a Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman story in the Deadpool Batman #1 that came out this week. So we're going to dovetail that into this. I'll whip it out. Excuse me while I whip this out. And let's segue into Deadpool Batman #1, published by Marvel Comics. And this is the big universe crossover. There's going to be another one of these in November called Batman Deadpool, written by Grant Morrison. I love the Grant Morrison run. The introduction to Damian Wayne, Batman Incorporated. I love all that. Batman R.I.P. The Batman and Robin with Dick Grayson and Damian. That was fun. What else? I love Batman Incorporated. I really did. Man of Bats, the Knight and Squire. Like those are such good stories. I really, really, really enjoyed them. But that's coming out in November. So this is an extra jumbo king size issue, $6.99. I got this for the Daniel Warren Johnson cover here. It's Ben Grimm Thing versus Big Barda. Look at that. I almost got the cutesy one with Jeff. It's Jeff and Crypto, but I saw this and I was like, stop the press. What is that? And I was like, this is actually pretty good. I had a lot of fun with this. Hey, Adam Frey, how you doing? I'm sorry, no Perch today. I think he's globetrotting, or he usually, he always keeps me in mind to stream with me, I'm just kidding. And this is actually pretty fun. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about Deadpool Batman #1. First of all, it's my humble opinion that this is not made for us, quote unquote us, for hardcore fans. This is a book that's made for normies. And with Deadpool, you know what I mean? It's got a lot of cinema success. His movie with Wolverine broke over $1 billion. And you have Batman, the flagship character of DC Comics. And we got some wonderful Greg Capullo art. I mean, I love the art in this. Now people are, bagging him on Tim Townsend's inking on this. I don't see, and there's a lot of talking in this, and there should be more show don't tell. There should be more like action oriented. There's just so much, like all of these Batmobile scenes of them chatting. I mean, it could have been slimmer. It could have been a lot more succinct, or you could have made the choice to fill this with more action-oriented pages. You know what I mean? Like, look at all this talk. But you got great Capullo art, and it's not bad. It's just it's fun, but it's not serious. It's really, you can't take this any serious. Yeah, that's my thing. Then you have Captain America, Wonder Woman, written by Chip Zdarsky, with art by the Dodsons, line art by Terry Dodson, inking by his wife Rachel Dodson, and it's a nice seamless Elseworld where, you know, Wonder Woman and Captain America have always been together in this shared universe. And we got into a conversation about it yesterday on Thinking Critical's Comics Aficionados, you know, and here you have this opportunity for Steve Rogers to end Hitler. You know what I mean? And Diana appeals to his heroism. He's like, I can do it. We be rid of him. You know what I mean? All because of him. All this death. All this. You know what I mean? And she talks him out of it. And so they were, and then she's there at him being thawed out, and and in this world, he's the one that talks her out of killing Maxwell Lord. And I love the art in it, and it was really strong. I enjoyed it. And she's there for him at his end because he's mortal and she is immortal, you know. Dan Mora will be doing the art for Batman Deadpool, written by Grant Morrison. It's Jeff. He's playing a game of catch with Crypto. It's cutesy. It's Kelly Thompson and Hirogiri. Gorihiro, which is these. So Kelly Thompson and Gorihiro are the 1-2 battery on It's Jeff. And you know, it kind of works. It's cutesy. We brought it up on yesterday's Thinking Critical Comics Aficionados. Like, it's kind of disjointed to have a cutesy, you know, kid-like book with Jeff and Crypto, and then have Dark Knight and Old Man Logan, which is so violent and bloody. But it's like, It's Jeff might or might not be made for. I don't think it's like, this isn't made for kids, but this is made for normies who spend money. Then you have, with amazing art by Andy Kubert, you have Kevin Smith writing Green Arrow and Daredevil. And the thing is, Kevin Smith 20 years ago did both Green Arrow, The Return of Green Arrow, because Green Arrow sacrificed himself and he was dead for a while. And so he brought back the return of Oliver Queen. And then also on Marvel Knights with Joe Quesada, Guardian Devil. Holy shit. That's a great comic book. Marvel Knights, Kevin Smith, Joe Quesada, Guardian Devil. It was so good. It is really good. So it's just such a really good book. Look at this art. This great Andy Kubert art. Mismatch heroes, you know, getting into that, you know, like, you know, fight first and then making up and teaming up. And then we have Rocket Raccoon and Green Lantern switch places, you know, temporarily. So we give Rocket Raccoon a Green Lantern ring. This is the art team on this. It was written by Al Ewing and whoever Ruwan is. The Batman, the Widening Gyre, I don't think he ever did finish it. Not sure. But the last part is great. There you have What's a Parallax? You know what I mean? And it's Hal Jordan as Parallax with the Infinity Gauntlet. I think that's pretty cool. But coming full circle with Batman Day, my love of Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, we get a new Dark Knight Returns adventure. And we have 3 pages, 9 panels of Dark Knight Returns versus Old Man Logan. Now, I got a lot to say about this. Look at that. I love the mouth on Batman. He's just so scathing with his insults. And it's a simple tale. It's just 9 panels. I love it. Are they ready to call it a day, Fido? But the art on these Frank Miller book, these covers lately, it's kind of overly flat. And I think there's 2 ways to approach this. Either it's done on purpose, or he's just so old that he's losing his touch. I like to think of it as Frank Miller considers himself not just a comic book artist and a writer, but he's a cartoonist. Hey, Kalichi Oki, how are you? Welcome to the show. Kalichi Oki, he's a fellow comics aficionado, and he tunes in almost every Saturday, and he's a big part of the chat. Like most of us are. Everyone say hello to Kalichi. It's good to see you, man. But I think it's like he's going for this overly simple, overly cartoony aesthetic to his newer stuff, and it looks flat. It looks a little 2-dimensional, I think, and I think that's done for effect. And it's to accentuate the cartooniness of it, the absurdity of superheroes and superhero action. And I think I like it. I'm not put off by it. I'm not going to make fun of it. I think it's, there's very little foreshortening and depth to these new Frank Miller arts, but I think that's done for effect. Or I could be completely wrong, and he just could be getting old, and he's lost his touch. He's in his mid to late 60s now, and I was blessed to meet him a few years ago, back in 2022 at Fan Expo Boston, and I had a good conversation with him, very short but really meaningful, good conversation with Frank Miller, one of my all-time favorites. And I got to point out to him, he signed. It's up there somewhere. It's You've seen it before. It's Daredevil 175, perhaps one of my all-time favorite single issues. I bought when I was 8 years old off the spinner rack for 50 cents. And I had Klaus Janson sign it earlier in April of 2022 at Wicked Boston Comic Con. And then I paid like $60 to have Frank sign my one comic book. And he was like, I remember where I was when I drew this. It was like, I had a portable desk, I had a portable easel, and I'm in the backseat of a car in Manhattan, and I'm drawing this paper that Marvel gave me. Was so shitty, and it was just really nice. He appreciated that, and I asked him, "Hey, is there any more Dark Knight coming out?" And he just gave me this kind of wink and nod, like, kind of, we'll see. And so, I heard Frank can be grumpy. I got the good Frank. And this tale wraps up with an amalgam character. I got amalgam. But the amalgam characters were a previous Marvel DC crossover where they mashed up their properties. So like Spider-Boy was Spider-Man and Con-El, Superboy, Connor Kent. You had a mashup of Superman and Captain America. You had a mashup of Storm and Wonder Woman, and the list goes on and on. Of Batman and Wolverine, and it was its own universe, the amalgam universe. That was a really good crossover. So you got Logo, the mashup of Wolverine and Lobo. The Bastich himself. Hey, Fear Monarch, how are you? Good to see you. The stories, yeah, but man, the covers were cool, and that's what got me. That's what got my $7 was this Daniel Warren Johnson cover, because I was just I'm like, yes, I'm such a big Barta fan. Hello, Dwayne Muth. Good to see you and everyone else in the chat. Sorry, I got a head cold, and you can hear it in my voice. So, we're gonna wrap it up soon, but I just wanted to. Yeah, pardon my shiny nose. I was exfoliating earlier. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. But like I said, it's 3 pages, it's 9 panels. Lots of onomatopoeia, lots of sound effects, and it's just a fight. Get out of my way. Get out of my town. Broken old man. Third-rate psycho. Arr, rah! And there we go. You ought to be sitting in some ward doing macrame, getting your steady stream of intravenous while you dribble away into your drool cup. You'll be the one living off the needles, Kipper. You'll be feeding out of tubes. And all the while, what's in those tubes is going to make you milder and milder and mellower and mellower. Forget about crime and vengeance and all that stuff. Like you're going to care about all you're going to care about is getting your diaper changed. And then he looks down and he's got a utility belt of bombs on him. And you left a whole string of Christmas presents down here, boy. Got them all special just for you. Left you. That's your whole problem, boy. All that sound and fury, all that rage and ruin, and all that time you ain't watching the store. Gives the man with the brain plenty of time. Boop, 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 boop. Boom! Or boom. Ready to call it a day, Fido? Ready to run on home and lick your wounds? Sure, bub. And you come visit me anytime and you get the itch. I'll show you a time. The end. That's it. And Frank's written both of these characters in the early to mid 80s. Yeah, exactly. Some people, I don't think it's everyone's cup of tea. I think it is overly flat. It is really two-dimensional. It is kind of absurd. And it does, I think, accentuate the absurdity of superhero stories and storytelling. I think there's a certain kind of, there's a je ne sais quoi there. I like it. He does say he's a cartoonist. And I think this fits that bill. What did I read this week from Marvel Comics? I read Amazing Spider-Man number 12. We have fill-in art by legend Ed McGuinness, and it works kind of. So you have Norman Osborn patrolling in the Spider-Man costume, and he's confronted by the Spider family: Silk, Spider-Boy, Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, the crew. And it's interesting, So you have Ben Reilly pretending to be Peter, filling in for him visually and at work, while Norman Osborn, is in the Spider-Man costume on patrol. And it's a fill-in issue, and it's just an issue of Spider-Man. It's not great, but it's not bad. And there was Deadpool Wolverine number 9. It's the penultimate issue. Ben Percy and Todd Gill, Robert Gill, and it's really 90s like. It's Deadpool and Wolverine. It's over the top action. It's nonstop action, and it's probably one of the best books this week. It's the Fantastic Four number 3 by Ryan North, with wasted efforts by Humberto Ramos. I love Humberto Ramos. He draws a really pretty Sue Richards, and a really pretty Alicia Masters Grimm, but that's about it. And Hulk 29, stick a pin in that, as my therapist says. Excuse me, sorry, didn't mean to cough in your ear. And like I said, I'm fighting the cold, kids. Magic number 10 of 10. This series wraps up. This is comics by girls for girls, and it's got no audience because who the hell is reading this? It's not great. And I'm a huge Ileana Rasputin fan. Really, I really am. Marvel Zombies Red Band number 1. It has this infected Fantastic Four come to Earth and start turning zombies and eating heroes and fighting the heroes. Great use of Soup, Richard's powers, killing Thor. Really awesome, over the top, but it's okay. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 38 by Cody Ziegler. Oh gosh, this is some of the most mediocre shit. I mean, and your boy Zach says comics are good. I like a few of these comics. Comics are good. You and your 2018 talking points. Jesus Christ, you fucking tourists. And like, have you read Miles Morales? Are you reading Phoenix by Stephanie Phillips? Are you reading New Avengers by Sam Humphries? Are you reading Magic? What's her name? Ashley Allen. Are you reading fucking Runaways by fucking Rainbow Rowell? These comics suck. Are you reading Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone? I mean, these comics suck. Really do. I mean, they're awful. But still, and these are all comics that came out this week. New Avengers number 4. It's at least it's Bucky being Bucky as Bucky. And he's more Winter Soldier. Look, he's not the Revolution anymore. He lost the man bun, and he's banging Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, which I applaud. It's good to see them getting some hot and heavy, off panel action. Good, they deserve it. He deserves it. He deserves some happiness. You know what I mean? Yeah, Phoenix number 15 by Stephanie Phillips. This wraps up a really boring girl power stuff. This girl made by girls for girls with what the fuck? This is terrible. This was a bad book. Sorry. Really. Predator Kills the Marvel Universe number 2, Ben Percy. It's got really good art. I'm not into this. They're going to the Predator mashups with Marvel Universe too much. You just had Marvel versus Avengers, which was pretty decent with Jonathan Hickman, with art by Asad Rivik, it ended up being really good. That got stronger and stronger each issue. The first issue was like, forget about this. But by the end, I was like, whoa, this was really good. You also have the upcoming Captain America versus Aliens, too. And Aliens and Predator are some kind of shared universe. You also had Predator versus Black Panther earlier. You also had Predator versus Spider-Man. This is a continuation of Predator versus Spider-Man. Runaways number 4 by Rainbow Rowell. Nothing happens in this fucking book. Nothing. It's all talking. There's no superhero action. This is a superhero book. Who the fuck is this made for? I'm one of the most positive people in fandom. I'm one of the most positive people in superhero, comic book reviewing. And you need to have some allowance for, I'm not punching down on these people. These people make more than me. They're published authors. They, you know what I mean? And they have this grand opportunity to be creating and adding to this ever unfolding tapestry of the Marvel universe. And this is what you do with it. This is a terrible book. It really is. It's all talking, and it's all about, gay kissing. And it's like, okay, hey, here's your 2018 talking points in print, Zach. Fuck you, Richard. Seriously. Aaron Sparrow calls you Snowball? I wonder why. Shit. Comics are good because I like a few comic books. Comics are good again. All right, if you say so, kid. Talk about a shitty book. Star Wars number 5, written by Alex Segura, with the flattest art by Phil Noto. He just cannot write action scenes. He tries hard. And I love Phil Noto's work. He does great covers. He's amazing photorealism, but he lacked depth. He lacked, dynamism. There is no fun in this book, and it's a pretty shitty story too. And who cares about these stories anyway? These are Star Wars stories with Han, Luke, and Leia set after Return of the Jedi, and it only leads to Disney sequel territory. So what hope do you have? This is Star Wars, A No Hope. There was Star Wars Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red, #1. This was Ben Percy. He's all over the place. I mean, Ben Percy he's really prolific. Him and Jed McKay are writing a shitload of Marvel books these days. But I ended up really liking this Boba Fett issue. It has got to be one of the most classic kind of Star Wars stories to come out of the Disney regime and the Disney era. I mean, the red is used a bit too much. I feel like it should be a black and white comic book with red used sparingly, like for blood or for, the glow of sensor displays, or maybe the red on the Boba Fett mask, but it's used a bit too much. Yet overall, it was a really good book. And that's about it. Yeah, so we had Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck, written by Jason Aaron. The art was really good. You got Asad Ribic, Pete Woods, Nick Bradshaw, and it's Uncle Scrooge, and he's like hopping over time and multiverses, and it's just like it's all over the place. I mean, Uncle Scrooge books, Disney comics they're a little more tighter because they're a little more. They're a lot more simple. This is all over the place. So I like the art, and I thought it was kind of fun, but overall, it's just a hot mess. Uncanny X-Men #21, talking about Gail Simone. This is a terrible book. I would not recommend this to anyone. This is it's too much talking, bad action when we have action, and then it ends up at a convention with cosplayers. I mean, this is terrible. This is Uncanny X-Men. Now, there have been really bad Uncanny X-Men in the past, but I'd like to know what in the comments later on, if you're watching on the replay, what would be your worst X-Men run? I mean, these are terrible. Exceptional X-Men by Eve Ewing, it's fucking terrible. And thank God it's over. I think it's over because all the X-Men titles are stopping and going into the Age of Revelation for the next 6 months or so. Because it's the retreads. Did you know From the Ashes? That was a Chris Claremont run about, what is it, 165? Uncanny X-Men 165 to 175, and it was about dealing with From the Ashes. Phoenix has died. Jean's gone, and this is Scott left. Cyclops quit the X-Men. Storm is now the leader of the X-Men. Now From the Ashes. That is the original From the Ashes. Now we have the new From the Ashes. You had Inferno back in the 80s, late 80s. Now you had this new Inferno. You had the fall of the X-Men. Now you had the fall of the House of X and the fall of the Powers of 10. You had the Age of Apocalypse 30 years ago, and now you have the Age of Revelation. These are all this is creatively bankrupt. And once again, I want to say I am one of the most positive voices out there. You know what I mean? People like Comic Storian, Comics Explained, rest in peace, and Sasha, Casually Comics, they got me beat when it comes to positivity. They really do. But I'm calling a stinker I'm calling a stinker a stinker. I mean, I can't suggest bad comics to you, but all of these bad comics this week, I mean, seriously, but still, Richard C. Meyer is going to tell you like that Wes is a tourist and that comics are good again because he says so, because there are a few comics out there that he likes. You know what I mean? I call him Nags Formaggio. He's just nag. And it's just like, oh man, whatever, kid. I mean, and that's about it. Hey, General Balzac, good to see you. How are you, man? Let's pick up the Real Comic Book Gamer. No, I picked up No Man's Land and Battle Beast. Yeah, you hit him up on Twitter or hit him up. Give him that's Dylan, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan is the Real Comic Book Gamer. He's he's one of my co-panelists at Comics Aficionados. Every Saturday, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern, live. And the best of the week, it's Ultimate Black Panther number 20. And Ultimate Black Panther, every issue it's got to be the most traditional superhero fare of all of the Ultimate books. Every issue has superhero action, fighting in costume. It moves the plot. It has intrigue. It even has melodramatic romance stuff, especially with like the queen and the king and the queen are both cheating on each other with Killmonger and Storm. It's pretty cool. And I think it's just the best Ultimate book out of all of them. And that's about that. Now let's see what's in the bag. What's in the bag? What did Sully get at the local comic book shop this week? I spent about $26 over 5 floppies. I'm happy to share this information with you. Remember, I'm huge into supporting your local comic book shop. I mean, you need bags, you need boxes, you need boards. Buy them at your local comic book shop. You need supplies. Don't be you're going to be tempted. You can get them delivered to your house and probably get a nice little discount on them as well. But these comic book shops, when they're gone, they're gone. I mean, I love my comic book shop, New England Comics in Quincy, and a couple of the people there just bought it, and they get to keep the name. But that's a whole new world of hurt, and now it's on them to pay the bills and to buy the books and to keep the lights on and to worry about the overhead. And this is where it can fail. This is where the store now can fail, because now there's no longer New England Comics, the chain of stores in New England. They used to have 7. Now they're down to 2, Quincy and Brockton. The other 3 stores that didn't close were also bought by their lead managers and staff. But now you're in, you have a whole world of hurt going on, a whole world of debt going on, a whole world of worry. So now, I mean, like, I've never been more scared to lose my comic book shop than now, because it takes a little mismanagement. One thing I know about being in the restaurant business, about being a professional chef, that you need a good front of the house, a good back of the house, and a good controller paying the bills regularly, doing like quarterly taxes and making sure that you never get behind on the bills, because once that happens, you're fucked. You really are. And then that's about that. So, and we have Yule Carter. You have Yule. Yes, but he'll tell you about the woes of being. He'll probably tell you a thing or two about being a comic book shop owner, about it, and how long it's taken him to crawl out of massive debt just to be probably in just normal debt, and then comes our ages, because we're in our 50s. These aren't mom and pop. These are mom and pop shops, and who do you hand these off to? And so when these stores close, are there new stores opening up to replace them? No, not really. So this is a very small pond, and it's shrinking and shrinking. You know what I mean? And so I definitely worry about the local comic book shop. So I spend my money there, as much money as I can every week. I'll take a chance on a new book, or on something. I like getting variant covers. I got 2 this week. Having the availability of having simple variant covers. Actually, I got 3 this week, counting this one. My Daniel Warren Johnson Thing versus Big Barda for Deadpool Batman #1. Pretty good book. This was really good. I mean, the story elevated the simple art. I didn't like the art too much. Evan Cagle is only in the opening pages. He was doing the whole book until a couple of issues ago, and I'm like, so it's Par is the artist and colorist for pages 5 through 20. Evan Cagle only does the first 4 pages, and it's about Sarah Finn, he was one of the Forever People, which is a big Jack Kirby, Fourth World thing. I got the omnibus. I love these stories. And sorry. Woo. And I just thought the art is too simplistic, too digital. It looks like it was drawn on an iPad. You know, it just and I'm not trying to punch down on it. I mean, but it's Ram V, and his story elevates the kind of the meh art. The panel progressions are fine. The fight scenes are good. You know, it's just the figures, the heroes themselves. I mean, they're quite chunky, if that's a word. You know, and kind of flat too. You know, but yeah, digital art just does not slam the way that pencils do, and that's just a fact. It's like it's like cooking with if you had to use like 1% skim milk, and you're like, wow, this cream soup doesn't have the body to it. I always come down. It always boils down to cooking analogies for me. Go figure. Speaking of Incredible Hulk number 29, I got this interesting variant cover. It was the last one on the shelf. It's the normal cover price. This is the D cover, and it's the Hulk cutout mask. So it's kind of simple. And this is an old Marvel thing from the Bronze Age, and cutout masks like Silver Bronze Age stuff, where the kid would cut out the eyes and the little holes, and you put a string through it, and there you go. You have a mask, and you can play as Hulk all day. So it's got some kind of. I liked it. The other one was the Nick Klein, A cover, and I can be sold on a variant cover. I totally can. They're fun, and it's nice to mix them up too. And I like that. I like having the availability of a variant cover. So it's cool. Ooh, yeah, exactly. Punisher Red Band came out last week, and my store was already sold out. By the time I got there at 3 p.m., they opened at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, on new release day. So in 4 hours, they sold out of all their copies. So it kind of just saves me the choice, because the boys and comics aficionados love to bust my balls about Red Band stuff. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. That's FOMO. That's FOMO for you. The last two books we got this week are both Image Skybound books. I've got Creepshow number 1, 2 tales of a horror. One of them is written by Jeremy Adams with great art by Eduardo Risso. I know Eduardo Risso from 100 Bullets, the old DC Vertigo from 20 years ago with Brian Azzarello. And also he did some Hellblazer. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Don't mean to cough in your ear. I am fighting a head cold. Sorry. Any single chicks out there want to make me some chicken soup? Yeah. Call me. Oh, local only, please. Sorry. I don't have a car. It would be a hell of a commute. You might be. No, I'm kidding. Kalichi Oki, if he's still out there, you've brought up Rogue Sun a bunch of times. I used to read enough of it. Sometimes I get an Image Dropbox of review copies, and it's really interesting. I mean, it's got a great premise. I love the design of the uniforms. You know what I mean? Just like Radiant Black, too. I mean, that's the one I'm thinking of, Radiant Black. But Rogue Sun's pretty interesting too. So they got a good thing going over there. But Creepshow, yeah, written by Jeremy Adams, and just Eduardo Risso art. Oh my goodness, with a damsel in distress. And so maybe the age of Me Too is kind of over, because we have actual women being the victims of horror in this. Seriously. And the second tale is Rosie Knight, with art by Oliver Ono. But yeah, this is just this Eduardo Risso art. Eduardo Risso is Brazilian, and he draws the most beautiful women. That's why part of the reason why 100 Bullets was such a big fucking hit. Sorry. And my pick of the week is Energon Universe G.I. Joe number 11. I got the Baroness cover. Now there's one more Baroness cover, the AKA cover, the cover E. We didn't have that choice, but I did have my choice of Raptor versus CoverGirl or Major Blood versus Baroness. I'm trying to get every Baroness cover I can for this series because I just have a big thing for Baroness. You can't see her. The Kotobukiya Mushojo of Baroness. I got a figurine of her up there. This was fun. It's the girls' weekend. CoverGirl chaperoning Baroness and a week for 48 Hours of Liberty in Paris, where they got waylaid and blindsided by Major Blood and his henchman Raptor. So it's Baroness versus Major Blood, knockdown, drag out. Good stuff. And I'm waiting for and some great stuff with Risk, Clutch, and Hound. And so we got some Transformers action in here. We do. And I love the team up of Clutch and Hound because what a natural pairing in this Energon universe. The military Jeep and the driver of the Vamp Jeep. Clutch. I love that. And Risk is a pretty good, interesting character. I wonder if he'll get if he's going to have a heel turn. I don't like Risk either. But maybe there's something, maybe he'll have something going on. But it's interesting because that's Merc. And we know Merc is one of Sergeant Slaughter's team members. And Merc was an ex-Cobra Viper that changed sides. And also we got Merc still on Cobra here. And we've got Baroness as a Joe. And I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for Baroness to show her true colors, that she's a double agent. She's the spy femme fatale that she's always been. And she's can't wait to get back to Destro. And especially take care of Chameleon, who's been cozying up to Destro. And that the big beating that Merc gave on to Duke a couple of issues ago, that's all set up. That's just bluster because Merc has been a double agent all this time too. That's what I'm thinking what's going to happen. This is my pick of the week, G.I. Joe number 11. And that's going to do it because my voice is giving out. I'm sick. I'm going to go drink some honey and some lemon juice and make myself some Sunday dinner. I'm having buffalo wings tonight. And then I'm going to cozy up in bed with a double shot of NyQuil. Yeah, that's Daddy's got to work in the morning, you know. Pikachu! Get me the NyQuil, quick, stat! But thank you everyone out there for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. We're a growing channel, and we are on the road to our first 1 million subscribers, and we literally cannot do it without you. And so any help will be great. We make a lot of different content here that befuddles the algorithm, but I do this as a hobby. So, we're talking about ice hockey this season, NHL hockey, my Boston-based hockey vlog, The Smoking Puck. You can find it all year long here. And next year too. We did cooking videos. I made a chili today. And thank you everyone out there too. Thank you so much. I feel great except for feeling sick. I cut out carbs, I cut out unnecessary sugars, and it's really helped with my panic attacks and my foggy headedness. So I think I've figured that out health wise, and I've also lost 10 pounds in the past 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm on the road to hitting my returning to my goal of like 175 or 180, and getting back to at least 36 a 36 pant in my large t-shirts. I'm so sick and tired about being fat. About my belly has already kind of lost a roll I was getting that underbelly sweat because of my fat, and it just disgusted me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm too hot. I'm too cool. I am too handsome to be too fat. I need to get into better shape and just live life, man. You know, and look good. And it takes sticking to it, and it takes agreeing to suffering too. I mean, I eat a small breakfast, and I'm in the space where I need to be, where I'm in caloric deficit, that I'm eating less calories than I'm burning, and that's just going to, and my body is naturally going to access the energy stores that are in my belly and thigh fat, and that's that. And when it's gone, it's gone. And that's it. I've done it before. I can do it again. Thank you so much, Dwayne. Thank you so much, everyone out there in the chat, for showing up for the Super Sully Sunday stream. Have a great week. Keep tuning in. We have Apolitically Incorrect Fridays. We have single Street Smarts for the Single Soul, and which is part of my gratitude list series. We have gratitude list shows, and like I said, we have a potpourri of different things going on here. So please like and subscribe, smash that like button, and suggest to a friend, bring a friend, pack a lunch, and have a good time. And thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.